There's a specific kind of email I've gotten 5 times this month. The bullet points line up, the grammar is clean, the summary is confident, and somewhere around the third paragraph, the email quietly contradicts the second one. The person who sent it maybe spent a minute on it, maybe two, and I spent an entire hour fixing it before it was ready for any client use. We just don't talk about that part because if we did, if anyone wrote that hour into the official AI productivity gain number, the official AI productivity gain number would not look the way it currently looks. This isn't an AI productivity story, it is a labor transfer story. 3 things to walk through. First, where do those hours actually go when AI says it is saving everyone time? Second, why your boss and you are looking at the same data and seeing completely different worlds. And third, the part nobody is putting on a slide is who is quietly paying for that productivity number we keep quoting on those earning calls. The clearest way I have found to think about this is something you've probably done this week. Just recall a meeting somebody just added to your day. They opened your calendar, found a 30-minute slot, clicked required attendee. Total time invested by them, 3 clicks. Total time it now costs you, closer to an hour once you factor in showing up, switching context, and writing the follow-up note. Their 3 seconds cost you an hour. And technically, yes, you could have declined. Practically, you did not. AI in the office is the same move at a much larger scale. The sender's 3 clicks, your 60 minutes. Multiply across every email, every Slack thread, every shared doc you touched this week alone. The asymmetry is already in your calendar, you just have never named it. Researchers at BetterUp Labs and Stanford's social media lab gave this kind of message a name last September. They called it Workslop. AI-generated work content that masquerades as good work but lacks the substance to meaningfully advance the task. I think workslop is correct as a description, but it is missing an economic word, so I want to add one and call it the Workslop Tax. In January, Workday surveyed 3,200 business leaders and asked a question almost no productivity report has asked before. They didn't just ask whether AI is saving people time. They asked whether the time being saved was being eaten somewhere else. The answer was 6 hours per week per knowledge worker. That is, and I want to say this slowly because the headlines have not, most of an entire workday per week spent fixing AI mistakes, verifying AI output, rewriting AI drafts before passing them on. The same study found that 37% of the time AI claims to save is immediately lost to rework. Not eventually, not sometimes, immediately. The BetterUp and Stanford team surveyed 1,150 American desk workers. 40% had received Workslop in the past month. Each instance took about 2 hours to clean up. And nobody is collecting that money. It is also worth pausing on what kind of work this actually impacts. The BetterUp researchers asked recipients to describe the Workslop they had received, and the pattern was specific. Reports that summarized meetings the writer had not actually attended. Slide decks where the third bullet contradicted the first. Code that compiled but did not do what the comments claimed. Memos that cited studies that did not say what the memos said they did. Always plausible, always confident, always, and this is the crucial part, easier to write than to detect. Half of the receivers in that survey said that they came away viewing the sender as less creative, less capable, and less reliable. 42% said that they trusted the sender less. A third said that they thought the sender was less intelligent. Workslop is not just a time tax, it is a reputation tax. The sender pays nothing for the time savings, they pay later in the receiver's quiet downgrading of how they feel about working with that person. And it's happened to me. Last month, someone forwarded me a 4-page memo with a polite note attached. AI helped me draft this, can you take a look? By page 2, I had opened the source articles in 3 other tabs and started rebuilding the argument from scratch. The memo cited a 2024 study that didn't exist. The third bullet contradicted the first. The recommendation section was confident about a number that, as far as I could tell, the chatbot had simply made up. I spent 90 minutes on it. The person who had sent me that document, probably 4. They felt productive. I felt, and I'm not being clever here, taxed. Section. An AI consulting firm surveyed 5,000 white-collar workers earlier this year. They asked executives how AI was working out. 2/3 of executives said the tools were making them dramatically more productive. About 40% said they were saving 8 or more hours per week. 19% said they were saving 12 plus. The C-suite is, on the data, having an extraordinarily good time. Then someone in the same survey turned the camera around. They asked the same question to non-management workers, the people receiving everything that the executives are sending. 2/3 said that they save less than 2 hours a week or no time at all. 70% described themselves as anxious or overwhelmed, and 40% said they would be fine never using AI again. Same company, same tools, two completely different stories. Every headline calls this a perception gap, a misalignment, as if the data are noisy and the truth is somewhere in the middle. The data is not noisy. The data is perfectly consistent. They are just describing different roles in the same transaction. Executives are senders. Most of their work is composition, which is drafting, summarizing, planning, deciding. AI accelerated composition by 10 times. So if you mostly compose, AI feels like a miracle. Workers below them are receivers. Most of their work is verification, checking, coordinating, reconciling, executing. AI did not accelerate verification. If anything, AI made verification harder because now there is more material to verify and the material is plausible but wrong instead of obviously wrong. The composition end got 10 times faster, the verification end did not. Guess where the work piled up? Which brings us to the question almost nobody is putting on a slide. If 6 hours of work of your week is going to AI cleanup, who is actually getting the productivity gain? The easy version of the story writes itself. AI is fake, executives are oblivious, workers are right, there's something wrong. But there are at least two harder versions I want to put on the table. The first hard version comes from an economist named Robert Solow. In 1987, he wrote a sentence that became almost too quotable. You can see the computer age everywhere but in the productivity statistics. He was looking at the same gap we are looking at now. PCs were transforming offices, the aggregate productivity number was not moving. Eventually, over about a decade, the productivity number did catch up. The statisticians had been mismeasuring. The economy was producing more just in ways that the surveys could not see yet. Some economists today are explicitly invoking Solow on AI. They are saying maybe the gain is real. Maybe it is being absorbed by quality improvements rather than time savings. Maybe the surveys have just not figured out where to look. I find that argument boring but not wrong. We have to hold it open. The second hard version is more uncomfortable, which is what if AI is not creating bad work and what if AI is just exposing bad work that was already happening? Think about it. The receiver who now has to fix an AI drafted memo, was that memo always going to be bad? Maybe the previous version, the human written version, was equally lazy, equally underbaked. It just took the sender 2 hours instead of 2 minutes, so they thought about it a little more. AI didn't introduce slop. AI removed the friction that was previously forcing senders to be slightly better. The slop was in us. We were just slowed down enough to hide it. I'm not sure that counter is fully right, but I'm also sure that it is at least partially right. And any version of the story that does not engage with it is incomplete. There is a third version too, which is the most optimistic one. Maybe what we are looking at is a one-time onboarding tax. The norms have not caught up. People are passing ChatGPT into Slack because nobody has told them not to. As organizations figure out where AI works and where it doesn't, as the etiquette settles, the slop decreases. The 6 hours a week become 2, then 1, then maybe nothing. Solow's paradox eventually resolved. Maybe this one will as well. I want that version to be true. I'm just not sure it is. The thing about a tax is that the people collecting it tend to find reasons to keep collecting it. And right now, the people who get to set the AI norms inside companies are overwhelmingly the senders. My questions for the comments, and I genuinely want to know, is that the last time you got work slopped, what did you actually do and what it cost you? And did you even notice?